holding the acupressure point at the crown of the skull for 4 to 6 seconds. The practitioner will repeat this process 3 times. Now beginning just in line with the eyebrows, the practitioner will activate the acupressure meridians on the outer edges of the skull. Holding the acupressure point at the crown of the skull for 3 seconds. The practitioner will repeat this process 3 times. Using a gentle crisscross technique, the practitioner will begin at the forehead, moving down the midline of the skull to the crown. Again, using a gentle crisscross technique, the practitioner will begin just above the eyebrow at the hairline, moving down the outer edges of the skull to the crown. The practitioner will repeat this process 3 times. Using thumb point pressure, the practitioner will activate the acupressure meridians at the midline of the skull. The practitioner will repeat this process 3 times. Now gently rotating the client's head, the practitioner will activate the acupressure points along the lateral edge of the client's neck. Using the finger point of the index and middle finger, the practitioner will contact the insertion point of the levator scapula, tracing the muscle up to the base of the skull, and gently massaging the back of the skull. The practitioner will repeat this process 3 times. And now gently rotating the client's head to the opposite side, the practitioner will repeat the same process. And just as with any range of motion technique, please be aware of the client's physical limitations before attempting to rotate the client's cervical spine. The practitioner will gently place pressure on the trapezius insertion and deliver a gentle rocking pressure to both sides of the posterior cervical spine. The practitioner will gently and steadily lift the client's head to deliver a gentle stretch to the posterior side of the client's cervical spine. The practitioner will now use a gentle circular stroke around the base of the client's ears to activate the client's lymphatic system, and using thumb and forefinger points to activate the acupressure points in the client's ears. The practitioner will now use a flat palm to deliver a gentle pressure to the client's forehead. The practitioner will repeat this process 3 times. And now we will begin the massage to the anterior portion of the client's leg. The practitioner will apply a liberal amount of oil, beginning at the client's upper leg, using a long effleurage stroke, down to the client's foot, and back up the client's leg again. And using bilateral thumb point pressure, the practitioner will activate the acupressure meridians in the anterior portion of the client's lower leg, and muscle stripping up into the client's upper leg. The practitioner will repeat this process 3 times. Now using upward sweeping bilateral palm strokes to the client's anterior portion of the leg. The practitioner will now apply a muscle spreading technique to the client's quadricep area. The practitioner will use a gentle effleurage stroke to increase the circulation to the anterior portion of the client's leg. Using bilateral thumb points, the practitioner will activate the acupressure points B36, B37, B40, B55, B56, and B57. Using bilateral thumb points, the practitioner will activate the acupressure points on the top portion of the client's foot. And now using a gentle rolling stroke through the bottom portion of the client's foot. The practitioner will repeat this process 3 times. The practitioner will now deliver gentle stretching and range of motion to the client's hip. Again, please be aware of the client's physical limitations before attempting to deliver any type of range of motion exercise during the session. And using a gentle tapotement, the practitioner will now activate the acupressure points in the client's anterior portion of the leg. The practitioner will now redrape the client's leg. The practitioner will now begin the same process on the client's opposite leg. Using thumb point pressure to activate the acupressure meridians on the anterior portion of the client's leg. Holding each acupressure point for 3 seconds. The practitioner will repeat this process 3 times. Using an upward rocking stroke, the practitioner will apply this technique to the client's upper leg. And the practitioner will now use their forearm to apply long, broad strokes to the client's anterior leg. The practitioner will use a muscle spreading technique to the client's quadricep area. Using bilateral thumb points, the practitioner will activate the acupressure points B36, B37, B40, B55, B56, and B57 on the client's lateral aspect of the leg. Using thumb points, the practitioner will activate the acupressure points on the top of the client's foot, and using a gentle rolling motion to the bottom portion of the client's foot. The practitioner will now use tapotement to the anterior portion of the client's leg.